All right, this time we got a leading coefficient and it is -3. So this is y equals -3x times x plus 5 to the fourth times x minus 3 cubed. So that -3 means I know this is going to end going down. So when I get to that point to sketch it, I'm going to start in quadrant 4 and work this backwards. That x, this is the one everybody misses, but it's raised to the power of 1, so it's a single zero at 0. Okay, if we shove a 0 into x, it's going to make it equal 0, so that's why there's a 0 at 0. At x plus 5, well, that's a even 0 because it's raised to the power of 4 at -5 because -5 plus 5 is 0. It's always what makes it equal 0. And then x minus 3 cubed is a triple 0 or an odd 0 at +3. So I know that's going to be a chair. So the chairs are always tricky. The even is going to bounce, but the chair, you got to do that little wiggle when you go through the x-axis. So that's a little different. So now we can plot all these points. Remember, these are just sketches. So here I'm just kind of notching it on the x-axis. So 1, 2, 3 to the right, there is the odd 0 at 3. 5 to the left is the even 0 at -5. And then the green point, there is the single 0 at 0. So it's just passing through the green one. The odd one, it's got to make a chair. Okay. The even one, it's going to bounce. Okay, then the -3 is negative, and then if we add our powers, that x is raised to the power of 1, and then there's a power of 4 and 3. 1 plus 4 plus 3 is 8, so it's negative and even, so I know it's going to start in quadrant 3 and end in quadrant 4, which isn't the way I'll use that to check. But what I usually do is I just look at, okay, the leading coefficient, -3, is negative, so I know I'm going to start actually in quadrant 4, which is at the end, and I'm going to work this backwards. So I'm going to do my chair at 3, I'm going to pass through 0, and I'm going to bounce at -5. And there I have my graph. Now I can tell, as long as you do the right behavior at the zeros, it's going to start and end exactly where it needs to. So it starts in 3 and it ends in 4. Perfect, but I always kind of draw it backwards, then I don't have to remember where it starts. I only have to remember where it ends. Whenever the leading coefficient's negative, it ends down or in quadrant 4. Whenever the leading coefficient's positive, it ends up or in quadrant 1.